Hey folks, welcome back to what is perhaps slightly unexpectedly to be the final episode of Let's Play Nobunaga's Ambition Awakening on the Series JG, because the next video would be Let's Replay, because I'm planning to jump right into another playthrough. It's a different force with the Zerafall 2024 charity contributors who chose this as their special thingy, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, something a bit unexpected has happened. So at the end of the last video, we had just taken Iga Ueno Castle. I think we were working on getting Sakamoto. Maybe I don't remember. We had Nochiseyama. Basically, we had Nochiseyama, Iga Ueno. I mean, we had taken over the Oda's starting territories, and we're pushing into the capital district. And I had been gathering forces and was marching like probably the biggest army we'd seen to date, or close to it, with better food supplies than in some previous efforts where we marched really big armies across long distances. But we had guys like Kenshin and Shingen and Ieyasu all in the same army, with, of course, like Grimmeth. Yeah, but they were just marching into the heart, and Bobo was in there somewhere along the way. And I ended up just pushing through. After I stopped recording, I just saved and I pushed through. Because I figured with this army, I could just grab the. I auto-battled one. Like, I put one where this game will do auto-battle for you, even in those zoomed-in battles where you can manually control. And it just set the speed up to max and let the AI win for me because we had such an overwhelming troop advantage. And got, Uesugi logo in the sky and kind of shut down Oda reinforcements and just started taking over all the castles. Because I wanted to get to the point where we would trigger an ending and then see... Because I remembered reading that, there's different endings you get depending on whether you just, do the warband victory, which we've seen in prior games, or if you do a full conquest ending. Well, to tell you the truth, I then ended up saving over the wrong slot. So all that happened off screen, and I feel a little bad because, in a sense, you maybe cheated out of a big final battle, but we'd hit the point of inevitability. I feel like if you're still watching, it's loyalty or ASMR of me talking. I don't know. We've gotten past the point where there was any actual capacity for the Uesugi to lose. The worst thing that could have possibly happened is that Kenshin died of old age and Kagakatsu became the ruler. And then we wouldn't have been as strong in these battles that we were manually controlling because Kagakatsu is just not as good an officer. But no, we're way past the point where we could really lose. So I feel a little bad that I've ended up creating this last video now. But honestly, then what I did... So I had some bourbon and Coke that in the evening time recently, and I had a Saturday where I was like just hanging around at home and rehydrating and just being like, not really feeling like going out. I got my 10,000 steps in, but that's about the only time I ever left. I just had a really lazy Saturday where I was just like, all right, well, I'm just going to play through the rest of this thing, which I talked about doing. So I'll have save slots where I can show the different endings. There's really one kind of interesting thing that we missed seeing together, which was that after I had finished off the Oda, I had an alliance with the Mori, and I took out the Yukita clan. Although, actually, I didn't finish the Yukita clan off. I was fighting the Yukita clan a bit. I had alliances with the Mori and the Chosakabe, which I had picked up while fighting the Oda. And then something kind of unexpected happened, and I think this is just a thing they do to speed up the end game. One of the advisors, and I can't remember who it was, suggested that I think it might have been Ana Takatatsu, suggested we should challenge the Mori to a final battle. Like, it really did say, like, final battle. I was kind of surprised. And the mechanics of this were If I accepted, then we got a message from the Mori saying, "Ooh, it will be difficult to defeat the Uesugi, but if we do, we stand to gain so much. We accept." Then I was asked to pick a city of theirs that we would attack, and a city of ours that we would defend. Like literally, it said something like, "We can expect that they will attack us. What city do we want to defend?" So it was strange. I picked one city to attack, one city to defend, and then we couldn't fight them for like 6 months or something because like there was a little counter like over here with the Uesugi logo saying "days until final battle." And we were supposed to just get all of our troops ready, and all of our cities went into that like a little white flame appears that turns red after a certain number of turns. Then the day came, and in the city that I wanted to defend, I didn't make it a defense base and put troops into it or anything. Like I don't think I did that part right. So it just had a normal troop count, and I built some defense towers and stuff. But when the time went, I attacked Takeda, and when I attacked it, I was given a choice of, like, I had a big list of all of my cities, and I could choose any of them, and that included Hojo cities, my vassal. So I just had this huge list, and I had to pick like 10 units to participate in the attack, and then 10 units to participate in the final battle. And I was told if you win the attack, your units will be free to also participate in the final battle. And if you fail the attack, they will not make it in time. So I put the battle to attack Takeda on auto and won easily. And then I did a battle defending, I want to say, Kuroi. And I was desperately outnumbered in that one, and I just put it on auto battle and lost. And I guess they're recreating, there's a couple of incidents. There's a famous battle where Ieyasu's, I can't remember the name of the officer or the castle. It's an important part of Sengoku Jidai history, and I'm just blanking on it. But like there was a siege of a castle under Tokugawa control where the officer died in the siege, but it prevented units from reaching Sekigahara in time that would have helped. Alternately, there's a famous incident where Ieyasu's son, Hidetada, was supposed to attack, and I think in this game it's Numata Castle at this point. It's known later as Ueda Castle, and it's the capital castle of the Sanada, and it's this kind of like mountain fortress keep. And there's a famous thing where Hidetada was supposed to take Ueda Castle from the Sanada and then continue to march on towards Sekigahara, but he's like held up by the Sanada, and he doesn't get there in time, and it's like personally dishonorable for him. But the Tokugawa win the battle anyway, and yeah. So they're kind of playing on that, like, oh, you can have a big advantage, and all your units will be there present if you win the attack, and if you can hold the other unit or army from getting their attack to succeed, you can be at a big advantage in the final battle. But either way, I win the attack on a city battle, which is like a siege battle like you've seen, and then I lose the one where I'm supposed to defend because I'm badly outnumbered. And then there's a final battle, which is just one of the bigger maps that we've seen before, because there's a couple of different maps that they reuse. This is one of the larger ones. And their army was big, but my army was like monstrously huge. And I set it on auto battle, and I won. At which point, I just took over automatically all of the Mori cities and all the Mori officers. And at that point, all I had left was the Chosakabe and the Satake. And I kept hoping I might get a final battle with the Satake or something similar, because the Chosakabe were falling very quickly at that point. And no, it's kind of interesting. Like at one point, the Satake actually attacked me and tried to drive me off of the island. And I actually ended up, as embarrassing as this might sound, I agreed to a truce with the Satake so that they wouldn't attack me. And then I built up, like I had both of these cities here were turned into supply bases, because eventually I marched a huge army and just fucking killed the Satake all in one big attack. And I had troops that were running out of food by the end, but I finished off the Satake. Like, all of Shimazu was finished off in one massive attack. But first, they forced me into a truce because I wasn't ready. And the Chosakabe just never stood a chance. So at this point, we are about to take the last city we need to get the ending where we've taken over the capital district. Ultimate conquest. More than half of the nation is under our control. 1 castles in the capital must be seized to control the region. Our clan controls over 10 castles. So we're going to win and get the ending that you get for taking the capital. But surprisingly, there's multiple endings. Sort of. Let's see.
The enemy has turned tail. You died a fine death. I'll not forget it.
Did Hideyoshi Hashiba just die? Somebody died a fine death. I don't know if it was Hideyoshi or not. I don't think so, because I have Hideyoshi in these saves where... He's an officer of ours in these saves where we get full control of the land. And, did we capture him? We captured the people who are in this castle, not Hideyoshi who was defending it. Fuyuhime. Fuyu once, shame on you. Fuyu twice, shame on me. Anyway.
I am yours to command.
Absolutely not.
Naramasa Sasa's got some pride. This guy, they want Shinsuke Nakamura on our side, but we're saying we can't be bothered right now. We just picked up 20 officers right there and won the game. My lord, I hear that the Imperial Court has sent an envoy to our clan.
What? An envoy? What in the world could this be about?
Oh, come the fuck on, Kenshin. Alright. Pretend you don't know. Lord Uesugi, it is a great pleasure to meet you. His Majesty is also most pleased with your unification efforts.
Such gracious words. It is truly humbling to hear that news of my efforts to bring peace. That news of my efforts to bring peace have reached His Majesty's ears.
Yeah, okay, whatever. You've taken over more than half of the country. He knows who you are. Now then, I have a special proclamation from His Majesty. The Emperor would like to bestow upon you the role of Kanpaku, Sai Taishogun, or Daijo Daijin.
What's this? 3 different titles?
No, just one. All our Imperial Court roles befitting our great unifier. I have been told you are welcome to choose whichever you desire. Now, which of them might you prefer? Please select the title you wish to assume. Kanpaku? That's what Hideyoshi chose. Daijo Daijin, I'm not that familiar with that title. And Sei Taishogun, which is Shogun, which is what Ieyasu ultimately, the title he assumed when he brought a true end to the Sengoku Jidai. Daijo Daijin, is that maybe what Nobunaga made his title? I'm not sure, but let's start with Kanpaku. Because yeah, we have 3 endings that we can choose from. They're going to be really different from each other, guys. They might not be that different. You have reached the ending in which you accept the role of Kanpaku, concluding your game. Proceed? Yes. Erase memory of game from mankind's consciousness? Yes.
That I would occupy the highest role available to retainers. I shall accept the position of Kanpaku, that I might be entrusted with matters of the Imperial Court.
Very well, I shall relay this to His Majesty. I expect that an Imperial envoy bearing the Kanpaku proclamation will be dispatched in the near future.
And yet, the role of Kanpaku has been occupied since ancient times by a member of the Sekon houses, the direct descendants of the Fujiwara Hokkei. Is it truly right that I assume such a position?
Whatever. His Majesty holds your efforts at achieving national unity in higher esteem than even the Sekon houses. And that is why he dared to stray from convention and award you the role of Kanpaku. Bear that in mind as you accept the honor. And so Kenshin Uesugi was appointed Kanpaku and situated their office in Gifu Castle, establishing a new administration to govern daimyo across the country. And time moved onward. With the support of influential daimyo, the Uesugi clan managed to achieve an enduring regime. The people enjoyed a stable peace and managed to forget about war for a time. However, economic difficulties triggered by a series of natural disasters threw the Uesugi administration into crisis. Oh great, so we got bad end, basically. Power gaps brought about by government laxity were occupied by various daimyo across the nation, once again splintering and decentralizing authority. Why? Why do we unify the land and then you're like, oh, but your government sucks ass? Perhaps Kenshin's decision as founder to retain the clans of Otomo and others had ultimately backfired. Oh, blame the Otomo. Blame the clan with the circus frill clown guy who goes Christian. Although another era of daimyo competing for territory had begun, the 100 years of peace that Uesugi had brought to Japan remained etched into the memories of the people. So, I just got a message saying gameplay recording had paused, so I'm not sure if that's going to do anything or not. It does, oh wait, we get a close-up Nobunaga now. Then we don't get a close-up Kenshin, huh? So yeah, that is a thing that I have been kind of struggling with, whether or not to watch the end scenes, because the end scenes always get the copyright strikes. I mean the musical numbers. You can have an entire 300 episode series of this game with no copyright strikes until we get the musical number. Anyway, let's go ahead. Oh, you guys are militarizing for a march against somebody. I wonder if they're getting ready to take out the Mimura clan. Anyway, let's win again.
The enemy is nothing before my tactics. You died a fine death. I'll not forget it.
We'll never know who that was who died, because I don't think I can jump in and check from here. We just have a series of button cues to go through.
I will not lose next time.
Oh, never mind. I can't. Okay, hold on. Can I find out who died? Nene! Oh man, I had no idea. We murdered Nene, the adorable little Kunoichi from Samurai Warriors 2. Onward. She's not in Samurai Warriors 1. Kunoichi is the Kunoichi in that game. Yeah, like... You died well. We will always honor you. We fucking murdered Hideyoshi's wife! Anyway. Let's see what happens if we choose a different title. My lord! Play for free online. What if instead of becoming Kanpaku, we become Daijo Daijin? This will change a lot, I'm sure. In that case, I would like to assume the role of Daijo Daijin, that I might occupy the highest position in the State Department, above even the cabinet itself. Alright, Madeline Albright. Very well, I shall relay this to His Majesty. I expect that an Imperial envoy bearing the Daijo Daijin proclamation will be dispatched in the near future. I can scarcely believe that I'm to sit in the highest seat of the Imperial Court. See, this time he's not knocking his own decision, so maybe it is the correct answer. The offer is a testament to the esteem in which His Majesty holds your efforts towards national unity. Accept it with good grace. There you go. Upon assuming the role of Daijo Daijin, Genshin Uesugi established a government office and ruled all daimyo across the country as the Great Unifier, Lord of Gifu Castle. I doubt it would make a difference if I moved my capital before accepting the title, but... And time moved onward. With the support of influential daimyo, the Uesugi clan managed to achieve an enduring regime. See, this sounds different. The people enjoyed a stable peace and managed to forget about war for a time. However, economic difficulties triggered by a series of natural disasters threw the Uesugi administration into crisis. And the same exact thing, government laxity, you suck. Perhaps Kenshin's decision as founder to retain the clans of the Otomo and others had ultimately backfired. What? It's the Otomo again? So it's the exact same ending after the first bit of text. You have a different description of the title, and then you get the exact same ending, which is economic strife. Hey, there was 100 years of peace, so that was something. And again, we enter into a blocked gameplay scene. Oh, and this time we don't get Nobunaga, unless we get it after I hit the button. Yeah, see, there's Nobunaga. It's like, check me out, man. Kanpaku, Daijo, Daijin. I've done it all, baby. Alright, well. Hey, Koronobu Yufu, that's a neat name. I'm sorry. Can't think of anything else to say. Yufu, Yufu. Alright, it's Murder Nene again.
The enemy is nothing before my tech. You died a fine death. I'll not forget it.
You're to be our prisoner.
I like you, Hideyoshi. I'll make sure. Nah.
Then you won't be taking my head.
I get slightly more time to do inputs when I don't hire those guys.
My lord! Play for free online, my lord!
Alright. Exact same message as before. What if we become Shogun? Anything is possible, even Shogun. Why tell the future to a dead man? I really like the Hulu Shogun, by the way. If you have any interest at all in Japanese history and you have not seen that, like, even Japanese samurai history fans who are not usually in a rush to accept, like, Western portrayals of Japanese history, broadly speaking, said, this show fucking rules. Like, the bitterest comment you get, it's based on a Western novel that bastardizes a lot of facts, but the biggest knock anyone has on it is that, well, if we had the fucking money to spend they did, we would have done better. Japanese prestige dramas, folks. The role of Sai Taishogun is the most fitting for a leader of samurai. Should the position be mine to claim, I wish it to be named Shogun.
Very well. I shall relay this to His Majesty. I expect that an imperial envoy bearing the Saitai Shogun proclamation will be dispatched in the near future.
This one feels like the right ending for Kenshin. Kenshin Uesugi became Saitai Shogun, founding a new shogunate that would stand as a shining example to all the houses. And the only way that it would be different for Kenshin is you could see him accepting a high office but not being shogun because he wants to retire into monastic life because he was that kind of guy. The Cincinnatus of the samurai. Cincinnatus was a famous Roman leader who became a Buddhist monk and eventually invented a form of chili, which was basically spaghetti with chili on top of it. As time moved onward, with the support of influential daimyo, the Uesugi clan managed to achieve an enduring regime. People enjoyed a stable peace, however, you still suck. Being shogun doesn't mean you're not shitty at ruling. But it's actually Yotomo's fault. So yeah, the three like, I don't know if it's because we have Kenshin. But it does seem like those three titles, that seems like it's completely meaningless distinction. And we've entered a blocked scene. I guess I'll let the credits roll for the last of the endings I have to show, and if then I can't upload the damn video, I will go in and edit it out. Yep. I never became shogun either. Perhaps I should have. Perhaps that was my mistake. My mistake. See the land slowly going back to the other clans. But anyway, I made this save so that I could, with the Hojo still my vassals, and because this is a point at which the Shimazu are weak enough to become vassals. So let's do the you rule the whole land, that you and you have vassalized every force that isn't like actually you. They are hostile. It says here, you have recently engaged in war. They're extremely cautious of you. Propose vassalage.
It seems I have no choice.
This is for the protection of my clan. Thank you for your understanding. They trust you as your vassal. It's interesting because at one point we managed to get, I think it was by negotiating a truce with the, yeah, you have a Legion vassal connection, but you do not have their trust. Oh, shame. This is a thing that happened because I actually negotiated a truce with the Shimazu, I think. But anyway, vassal ending. Owing to Kenshin Uesugi's national unification, the Imperial Court deemed their house worthy of replacing the Ashikaga clan formally appointing Kenshin Uesugi as Saitai Shogun and permitting them to establish a shogunate. So basically, you don't get to choose. You just become shogun if you do this. Every daimyo across the nation vowed to submit to the Uesugi clan's rule. Kenshin Uesugi promulgated the Edict of Peace, mandating a nationwide armistice. All private territorial disputes had been forbidden. The constant ringing of crossed blades over 100 years of fruitless conflict had finally grown silent. The era of the warring states was over.
That is good.
It has been a long time coming, but a world without war is finally here. We have the efforts of many other daimyo to thank for this. Now we must hurry and build a new nation, that this peace might last. First, let's invade Korea.
Now that was what Hideyoshi did. We don't know if Kenshin would have done that. If Kenshin had become shogun, he would have become shogun much later in his life than Hideyoshi did. And time moved onward. In the wake of the Uesugi clan's national unification, Japan enjoyed a momentary peace. Uh-oh. Oh, never mind. This is a different picture. Hey, you got like, I don't know, looks like some kind of pro wrestler or something over there on the left with the long blonde hair. No longer content with domestic governance alone, however, the Uesugi administration started looking overseas. Now stabilized, Japan was able to accelerate its production of local specialties and spend the massive profits from those sales on the manufacture of export goods. Utilizing their military might and booming economy, Japan began trading in the seas of East Asia, where pirates and European merchants gathered. They determined that it was their right to rule the rest of Asia and set out to create an Asian co-prosperity sphere. Wait, getting ahead of ourselves. And so the mercantile powerhouse that was Uesugi's Japan barreled ahead towards modern Europe, emerging as a great power on the global market. Yeah. It's a nicer ending. I mean, you were really not going to see any, probably not going to see any Japanese games that acknowledged that at one point Japan invaded Korea. Because if you didn't know, when Hideyoshi, he doesn't technically vassalize all the other rulers. He achieves the Kanpaku ending, where he's become so powerful no one can oppose him. But yeah, his stratagem, if you didn't know this, his thing he did as ruler of Japan, he did a lot of economic stuff that is widely considered fairly smart. But one of the things he did to keep the warrior class busy and from plotting against him was plot an unprovoked invasion of Korea, which was a disaster for both countries. And it's just not something that they mention in these games, even though, like, literally, it happens during the time, like, because the final rise of Ieyasu to control the land happens after that. It's just this big event in the middle of the game that is never in any way referenced. Because if you look at the starting points and ending point scenarios, like about 2/3 of the way through those scenarios, there's this big old Japan invades Korea event that they, well, I don't know. I don't want to beat it to death. But I guess we're saying, I suppose if you won a unification victory as Hideyoshi, there's like a 1% chance they'd reference that in his ending, but I kind of doubt it. Let's come to this ending now. This is our final ending, and this is the one where we actually literally conquer every city in Japan. This, if you're like, Jesus Christ, JG, how many hours did you play? This took like a big, this took a big chunk of a Saturday. Like, you know, played a couple hours in the morning, got some lunch, played through most of the afternoon. Basically just spent a day wiping this whole map clean, and that was possible to do in a day rather than over the course of several days because of the battle event where I just got to, I think this is fair, like once you're down to like 3 other clans on the map or 4 other clans on the map, that just give you the chance to just take one over. Anyway, in this reality, we have actually created a new districts. Vulture Bobo has a province. I can't even remember if I did that on screen or not. Is this my province? Yeah, never mind. I didn't make... Vulture Bobo, by the way, did take some cities from the Chosakabe. So way to go, Vulture Bobo. But I know that on screen before it all wrapped up, we had the All Dragon province and the Shaman Sea province, and one of my fears was that it was going to be a huge pain in the ass to reorganize and take the Hojo out if the AI-controlled districts were slow. But to be honest, once I broke the vassalage agreement and the truce time expired, and I set both of those both of those provinces, the All Dragon province and the Shaman Sea province, to try to take over the Hojo, it turned into a race between them to see who was going to get the most glory. And I want to say, technically, it looks like Ald won that one. Although, nope, Ald won because he took most of the castles numerically, and he took Odawara, which would be the biggest one. So I'd say Ald won the race for glory with Shaman, but basically they just devoured the Hojo between them. And Nirayama Castle will be the final one to fall. This is not that... And honestly, in like real history, he didn't literally conquer them. He kind of made them submit as vassals. And there were some places up in the far northeast, like the Date agreed to submit to Hideyoshi. And there were clans north of the Date that never got pulled in. But finishing everything off by having one ruler who rules over everything and the Hojo are the last ones to submit is kind of what actually happened in history with Hideyoshi, except I vassalized the Hojo and, you know, and just kind of had them as a vassal for a long time. But, like, the final battle before Hideyoshi just takes over is him seizing Odawara. So this is kind of... Oh, I've neglected my health. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Takahisa. You shouldn't do that. I know you're upset about the fall of the Shimazu, but... defense is my forte. All Dragon Province has taken the enemy base of Nirayama Castle. Nice crit. Ow! Sorry, it's my All Dragon impression. Hojo clan has been annihilated.
Captured their officer alive.
And
I will do everything in my power for my...
I'll work for you.
No.
No. Kind of as well. Poor Ujiyasu won't work for us, but the guys underneath Ujiyasu are just kind of guys. The two of them are chiefs. Like, his sons are like, yeah, sure, we'll work for you.
Will not forget this.
He's just pissed because we made him a an emigre and then fired his ass. Anyway, we got 422 infantry leaders at this point, but, you know, once you rule all Japan, you don't need New Japan Pro Wrestling anymore. The Kanto Unity target has been completed. That's good. Kanto Region Commerce is up. I wonder if that'll prevent us from getting the bad economy ending again. Anyway, this is the last ending, folks, so let's enjoy it together. Owing to Kenshin Uesugi's national unification, the Imperial Court deemed their house worthy of replacing the Ashikaga clan, formally appointing Kenshin Uesugi as Sai Taishogun and permitting them to establish a shogunate. He probably won't say that thing about all the different daimyo because he just ruled this time. He's not giving credit to the vassals. The Uesugi clan controlled every single castle across the nation, and any who could have stood against them had been eradicated. National unity had at last been achieved. Kenshin Uesugi promulgated the Edict of Peace, mandating a nationwide armistice and forbidding all private territorial disputes. 100 years of conflict came to a close with the advent of a new era that would be called the Uesugi clan's peace.
That is good.
It has been a long time coming, but a world without war is finally here, thanks in large part to the efforts of our retainers.
But he doesn't mention daimyo because he's the only one.
They say ventures are easier started than sustained. We must quickly secure the authority of the Uesugi clan and ensure this peace lasts. I better not be lax with governance, because that's led to bad end in other realities. And I think from here it's going to be exactly the same. Time moved forward in the wake of Uesugi clan's national unification. Japan enjoyed peace. Pickles, the drummer from Metalocalypse, gave us a telescope, it looks like. Some guy found gold. Boats exist. This is word for word. I'm glancing over it. Like, if anything is different from the last ending, I would read it. But it is not. So there you go. 3
almost fingerprint identical endings for taking the capital. We saw the regional victory. And then the vassal versus full conquest has just slight differences too. So now we'll go ahead and watch the credits, and I will probably get a musical copyright strike, but as long as it doesn't take the video down, that's probably fine. Because it is fun to watch these together. Climbing the stairs to Makoto Hosoi. Makoto. Wait, this is a male vocalist. What's going on, Kawai? That's a Mitsunari and the Viper dude. That's Kenshin. No, that's Kenshin. The last guy was Shingen. I keep getting their names wrong. Can never remember which is which. It's Hanbei and the other guy. So Masamune and his like cousin. Like I can never remember his name either. There is, of course, Tadakatsu, Naomasa Lee, and some other Tokugawa guy, I'm sure. Oh, is that Mitsunari and the two guys that are always like his goofy minions in the high school drama jokes that Kawai likes to have? Let's see here. Sanada clan. Group portrait there. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Getting Kenshin with it. Na 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 na. Is this gonna be Kicho? Yeah. Ooh, it's a wedding picture. Love wedding pictures. There's the idiot Sanada son. There's the good Imagawa guy. That's Kenshin trying to murder Shingen. And Mitsuhide. The Takeda strategist and the Takeda son. The Mori budgies. Or family, I guess they should be called. That's Takabana Ginchio, who's everybody's favorite, plus her dad and her husband. There's a random Honganji guy and Nagamasa Azai, and yeah, these are just random dudes from the center of the country here. Kisahide and Kaiji Maeda and dudes. I remember most of these people. Don't know who the guy is with the square hat. I'm just blanking. Katsuie is there. There's various people holding paintbrushes. That's the Imagawa group. Not Imagawa. It's Kicho again. And Oichi, and I guess that's probably Cha-Cha. Cha-Cha-Cha. I think those are just... Oh no, that's Nene is one of those. These are not generic women, although the game does pretty... Hi! That guy there, the Kanto Konrai, he is of course famous as being a rabbit merchant who hates cabbage people. And if you get that, you're watching too many of my Let's Plays. I completely forgot that character's name. No, the Shogun's family was arranged in one of those portraits, so I just cannot think what they are called. Hi, guys. So yeah, I mean, I like these little endings, although obviously you don't play this particular game to get a cinematic ending. It's a long strategy game that you play for the sake of playing the strategy game. Do you desire to see more action poses of me with the cape fluttering? Because if so, you've come to the right place. Alright guys, it's every likelihood that I will not be able to actually post this video without removing the music or editing it or some. But it was worth a try. And when we come back next time, I'm trying to decide if I want to take a weekend off or just keep on chugging. Oh, that ended up being a long video, but not like double length or anything, so that's not too bad. So it's like a bonus extra length finale. And the next time we come back to Nobunaga's Ambition Awakening, it will be with the 2024 Zerfall charity donation, guys, helping me try to win, which I know the game better than I did playing as the Uesugi, but it should be a much tougher road to hoe trying to win this thing as the Chosakabe. That'll be next time. And I've just, from a little playing around off screen, we are going to have a I'm blanking on the name of the clan now. the Miyoshi. We are going to have a lot of pussyfooting around trying not to get destroyed by the Miyoshi. Possibly, we might have to accept vassalage to the Miyoshi for a while. I don't know how you get out from underneath vassalage. But I've seen more than one strategy guide to this game that tells you don't be afraid to become a vassal if that's what you have to do to survive. This is very much a game. I mean, Ieyasu Tokugawa was never technically a vassal of the Oda, but he, at different times, pledged fealty in different forms to the Imagawa, then to the Oda, then to the Hashiba. Like, there was a lot of that going on. And he won the day. It's a pretty big theme in Japanese history about enduring and looking for opportunities, was the story of Ieyasu and how he came to rule Japan. Which is also why Kalinowari Sanada hates him, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, let's wrap this whole thing up by speculating about the feelings of Kalinowari Sanada. But when we come back next time, we will speculate about whether the Chosakabe have a prayer of unifying Japan.